Hey, what's up? My name is John Patrick Morgan, and I'm about to share with you how you're not happy because you don't really want to be. So what do I mean by that? Well, I don't mean that you're not doing a good enough job, you don't really want it, and that's why you're not happy. I mean, who would say that to somebody who's not happy? Like, you're not happy because you don't want to be, bitch. Like, that's not what I mean, but I got you to watch the video, so I'm glad you're here. What I actually mean is that nobody is happy because they were pursuing happiness. Happiness is not something that is a life purpose that people orient around. Like, I want to go and feel good, and how am I going to just build up that good feeling? Happiness actually comes as a byproduct of being in the world in a way that is congruent with the things that are important to you, with spending time doing the things that matter to you. And also, happiness is a byproduct of you not doing the things inside your mind that obfuscate the natural state of happiness. So actually, happiness is your natural state. And so when you're not feeling happy, it's because your mind is thinking in such a way that's having you not be able to feel that. When there's no problems in your mind, you're at peace, you're happy, you're joyful. It is actually how you came into the world. And so you're just shadowing your happiness by how you're using your mind. That's the primary thing. And so if you were to stop doing that, happiness would emerge and arise. But you can't go out and chase and get happiness. Any seeking is an obfuscation. It's a blocking of the internal innate experience of happiness that you have in you. You have the capacity to be happy right now. Paradoxically, if you would stop trying to get happiness. And I know that might sound interesting, but at the same time frustrating if you're not experiencing happiness right now, because the first question in your mind will be, well, what am I doing? Well, how do I stop doing it? If I knew what I was doing, I wouldn't be doing it. So yeah, I get you. And so it's not necessarily easy to just see that, but I at least want to start to show you enough so that you can be engaged in the possibility that it's the way you're using your mind that's blocking the happiness that's always there. It's always there waiting for you on the other side of this internal activity. And the way that we use our mind to block happiness is to think things that block us from that. What kind of things might we think? Well, I call them judgments. Judgments that whatever is occurring is not enough. A judgment that that person is not enough. A judgment that this body isn't enough. A judgment that this weather isn't enough. A judgment that anything that's occurring in this moment is not enough. And not only is it not enough, it's not lovable and perfect just as it is. Now, if that sounds simple, it's because it is. If it sounds difficult, it's because it can be. But the point is, if you can just start to look at how am I actually creating the thinking that gets in the way of my happiness. If you can accept the idea that happiness is always there, what am I thinking that might be blocking that? What judgment might I have about circumstances, about this person, this partner, this life, this body, this diet, this job, whatever it is that might not feel good? What am I thinking when I'm not happy? When I'm not feeling happy, what am I thinking? What if happiness is behind that, like the sun behind the clouds? What if it's just there and I'm blocking the feeling of it by thinking? What am I thinking? My boss is a dick. That doesn't feel good. What if my not thinking that meant that there was less clouds and I could actually just feel a little bit of happiness? There's a little bit of sunlight behind that thought. What would I be experiencing without that thought? Start to look for the activity in the mind that's keeping you busy feeling not happiness, blocking happiness. Just start to inquire, what are those thoughts that I'm having? If it were true that happiness is there in the background and I'm just blocking it, how am I doing that? Don't start judging yourself for doing it. If you start to see it's like, oh my God, I'm blocking happiness by thinking that, I suck. Just don't do more of it. So be okay with it when you see it, but get curious about it. Wow, I'm not happy in my relationship with my wife. What am I thinking what if happiness were there if I weren't thinking? How am I doing that? Well, I'm thinking my wife is this way instead of that way, and I guess that blocks happiness. I'm thinking she should have done this, and thinking that she should have done that, that blocks happiness. Interesting. Man, am I really doing that all day long? If I remember the whole day as not being happy, Was there a moment that I wasn't thinking any of that? I guess in that moment I was feeling okay. Is that what happiness is like? Okay? Maybe. Well, that's certainly closer to happiness than what I've been feeling. So let me move in that direction. And the more you find okayness, the more you'll start to find laughter in that okayness and lightness. That's what happiness is. Happiness emerges and shows up all by itself when we're not blocking it. And also when we're not blocking it and we're feeling light and okay and joyful starts to come from that, and lightheartedness, and you start to see life as being fun and funny, then all of a sudden you start to become in contact with the things that you love and that are important to you. And when you're feeling light and in contact with those things that you love and that are important to you, you start to take action in the direction of those, because hey, why wouldn't you? There's no everything's cool. And you start to take action in the direction of those. And your life starts to become an expression of the things that you value and that you love, and they start to feed back into you. And then everything in your world is an expression of what you love and you enjoy. And you're not just happy because you're okay with what is, you're happy because your life is an expression of what you love, and it feeds back in, and it's a virtuous cycle, and it goes up and up and up, and your life gets happier and happier and happier. And you start being a fruity, crazy guy like me, telling everybody you're the happiest guy you know, and you put a freaking crazy flag with a smiley face out on the front of it. And at the same time of being the happiest guy you know, that it's actually, as much of it being a description, it's also a creation by removing the obstacles to the happiness that always is, and living your life as an expression of that peace and joy, and so that it feeds back into itself. That's just how it works. And if you want to learn more about how it works and how I can help you be happy, then go to creating.school and learn about what we do there in Creating School, or check out more of my videos. There are hundreds of them. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, ask me questions in the comments, or send me a DM. I love that you're here. I'm grateful for you. Bye for now.